So come for another Qigong and Pilates mix. So taking a movement from Qigong called the Swimming Dragon. Make sure I've got enough space here, yeah. And we're going to put it with a Pilates setup. And we're going to start with breathing. So again, we'll go into the traditional breathing, the Qigong breathing, which is breathing into the belly, but we're doing the opposite here. We're breathing, we're tucking our belly button in, but I'll go into that in more detail. So we're going to start with the breathing. As with all these, you can go as low or as high as you like. So I'm going to do it from standing first. If you do want to go deeper, you can take your legs out wider and bend at the knees. Again, if it hurts, don't even go there. I'm going to stick with the Iyengar yoga principles of going no further than your knees in line with toes. Again, different schools of thought, but I'm going to stick on a safety plane with the Iyengar yoga principles, going no lower than knees in line with toes, that alignment. If you do want to go deeper, you can go deeper again. But same deal again, you can stick your bottom out. But I'll go through that as we go. So I'm going to kick the breathing in to start off with. Won't spend loads of time on the movement, but mostly on the breathing. So, standing Shizen posture, nice and natural and relaxed. And you're going to zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Okay, them two muscles go together. You can't do one without the other. And as you do that right now, zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals, you're going to breathe in through the nose and exhale through pursed lips. Lovely. As you scoop out your abdominals, zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, you'll naturally find that breathing going in to them lower lobes of lungs, anywhere but your stomach. Because right now, as you're zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out these abdominals right now, that breath can go nowhere else apart from our lower lobes of lungs. Because there's nowhere else the breath to go right now as you're zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out the abdominals, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. Lovely. And just simply allow that simplicity to relax the mind right now as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out the abdominals. Just simply keep on breathing in at your own pace, breathing in through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. So you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. Lovely. Now, as you're doing that right now, we're gonna do a little exercise to see where the breath is going into them lower lobes of lungs. So to do that, get these two middle fingers touching underneath what we call the xiphoid process, the sternum, the breastbone. Okay, just underneath the breastbone, xiphoid process. Palms on the lower lobes of lungs. Shoulders down. Check these shoulders. They do try and come up. And as we carry on, zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals, you'll feel that breath coming in to these lower lobes of lungs. You hold the hands here still. These two middle fingers are going to slightly part and come back to touch each other. Okay, just moving like seaweed, you'll find them on the bottom of the seabed, even just a millimetre, it doesn't matter. This is just to show you as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals right now, that breath can go nowhere but our lower lobes of lungs. It can go nowhere else because there's nowhere else the breath to go right now as you feel that breath coming low and deep to them fish gills, 3D style. Keep breathing in organ deep, cell deep, even bone marrow deep, into them lower lobes of lungs, intercostals, the ribs, anywhere but the stomach. So much so you feel the two middle fingers slightly part and come back to touch each other, adding width to them lungs and length to the out breath, that lovely, free, expansive breath. Just adding width to the lungs and length to the out breath. Lovely. And you can take them fingers away there and even imagine someone's opening and closing an umbrella inside your rib cage, or someone's just pushing from out inside your ribs, pushing the ribs out, allowing them to come back. Just adding width to the lungs you breathe in right now And length of the out breath as you exhale through pursed lips, as you're still zipping up pelvic floor and scooping out your abdominals. Their muscles go together. You can't do one without the other. And just to show that's happening as you're doing that, we're going to get these thumbs round from the hips. So top of the hips, you're going to go around the B line, bikini line, the belt line, whatever you want to call that. Lowers your pelvic floor. And this B line, your corset muscle, 3 layers deep on this B line, the transverse abdominis links onto this pelvic floor. Okay, you've got the B line here, pelvic floor's there, corset muscle links on, like cling film, 3 layers deep this corset, linking on this B line to your pelvic floor. If you cough or sneeze, you feel them both go together. So that's just to show you your pelvic floor and your corset go together. You want to explain the pelvic floor as you're on the journey or go to the toilet. That's your pelvic floor. The corset muscle, the transverse abdominis support the spine. We get by tucking in our belly buttons towards our spine. Okay. So again, as you carry on doing that, but just with that awareness now, that's going to help us use them muscles in the correct fashion. Just knowing where they are, their muscles, help us use them in the correct fashion. Sometimes a bit like an amnesia, if you don't know they're there, you might not be able to use them so well. If you know they're there and you have that awareness what's going on in there, it's going to help you use them even better right now. As you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals, keep breathing for the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. Lovely. Follow the journey all the way in through the nose and out through pursed lips. So you're sort of blowing out a candle through pursed lips. And that exhale actually works like a cough or a sneeze. Remember that cough? Helps you throw on that corset muscle and engage that pelvic floor to support our spines in the most efficient manner. Helping us breathe right now, anywhere but our belly buttons. It's what we call lateral thoracic breathing in Pilates. You zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Keep breathing in through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips. Even imagine someone's wrapped a tight scarf around your ribs and you breathe through that scarf wide and full. And then width to the lungs as you breathe in and length of the out breath as you exhale through pursed lips. Lovely. So in a breath synchronized movement manner, vinyasa and yoga, you like to call it, synchronizing the breath and the motion. We're going to get the movement going. Again, zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals. That can help your stability. It's a bit of movement on this one. We get the hand motion. It's called the swimming dragon, this one, okay? Got some far out names for these ones. So again, all it is, you circle the hands in a figure 8. Now again, these are here. You can sort of use them as a stretch. That's going to stretch these flexors there, which, if you're on a lot of computers, stuff like that, these get very tight and overused. So it's good to stretch them. But again, you can use that isometric contraction, tighten there to use these chest muscles, these pecs. But watch these shoulders, let them shoulders down. Keep an eye on them because they're overactive. So we get this motion going. Again, figure 8 style with the hands. Once you've got that going, you just keep the breathing going. So you zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, throw on that corset against that instability. There can be big motions, or they can be smaller motions. Again, bigger motions be more instability on these ones, bigger gross moves. Smaller motions be easier to stabilise for the corset. Slower motions be harder, and faster motions might be a bit easier. A bit more instability, but again, just exploit the range, speed and tempo to make it as easy or as hard as you like. And as you're doing that, you can even, if you like, as you throw on that corset, you can just take the hands one way and just take the hips the other way. So that'll stretch these obliques, these external obliques here. A lot to do with your walking gait, and as you're doing that, you're still zipping up pelvic floor, scooping out your abdominals and exhaling through pursed lips. As you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. That helps stabilise. Again, I'm doing bigger motions. You can do smaller motions. You might not even use the hips. You might just use the hands. If you've got any real problems with the back, you put your back out or anything like that. But again, if you want to go slower, you can do. Do bigger motions, you can do. Again, in some ways, faster will be more instability. optional. Again, if you want to use a bit of tension here, that's fine, but just watch these shoulders, just let them down, because we're very overactive in these upper traps and they try and take over. So make sure the shoulders are down. Imagine the trickle of water just running down your back and dispersing as you zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. You're breathing in through the nose and exhaling through pursed lips, gathering against the instability. If you want to soften the knees, keep them slightly soft, slightly bent, optional. If you do want to go down deeper into a squat position, fine, no lower than knees in line with toes. If you want to go deeper, stick the tailbone out, but again, you can go to horse riding stance. Don't let the feet go Charlie Chaplin, keep them relaxed, slight V's fine, but not completely out. Okay, I'll go back to demonstrate that, that's optional. It's a lot harder. Again, you could be here doing this, down here, or here, but then a slight V with the feet. It's horse riding stance if you're going down this deep. Optional. We can stick in a squat pose. Go down as deep as you like, but no lower than knees in line with toes. You feel anything on the knees, don't go there. If you want to do it standing up, fine. With motion or not, whatever you're doing, zip up pelvic floor and scoop out your abdominals. Breathe in through the nose whenever you like. And exhale through pursed lip. Just create a little bit of instability there, but again, the swimming dragon, that one's called, some far out names. As you breathe in through the nose, exhale through pursed lips. Watch these shoulders, they will try and take over, so really keep an eye on them. Like I say, 90% of us are overactive in these upper traps. Imagine that soft V between the shoulder blades, shoulders down, lengthen up for the crown. Breathe in through the nose whenever you like. Exhale through pursed lips. It's up to you how much you sway these hips. So if you've got any real problems in the back, don't even go there. Modify it, so it's your union of your mind and body, no analysis. If you want to do smaller motions, make it easier, do it. But again, you're getting that slight stretch on these external obliques there, and even your internal obliques going across. A lot to do with your walking gaits. They're getting stretched slightly there. Again, if you're pushing in here, remember them shoulders. I will emphasise that. Shoulders down, lengthen up for the crown. So if you've got a puppet string, a hook, a brace on your head, pulling you up towards the ceiling, and just zip up pelvic floor, scoop out your abdominals, breathing in through the nose, whenever you like, exhaling through pursed lips at your pace. When you're making it as easy or as hard as you like, with the speed and the tempo, how big or small you make the motions, whether you push in or not, optional. How much you sway here, standing up, or coming down here, optional here, static. See what suits you. The body will tell you, if you put your back out on something and it's too much motion, don't even go there. It's just getting a different motion again, it's just movement. It's a Qigong motion. We're putting it to a Pilates setup. That's all, Pilates mix. And again, with a lot of Pilates is on the floor, so it's nice to do standing. When it was invented, it was standing with pulleys, all sorts. But again, it's just movement at the end of the day. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the meridians and all that sort of stuff. I'll do a more traditional version of this. And I'm going to add some yogic breathing and some hypnotherapy breathing as we go. Different versions of all these. Bang, but that was the Pilates version, or Pilates breathing mixed with a movement from Qigong or Qigong, like whatever you like to call it. Lovely, but remember, it's your union of your mind and body. So you make this as easy or as hard as you like. Bang.